To address what I said and meant further from my YouTube post, which you should check out by the way, basically for the next month or so I'm going to be on the road, so therefore no wonderful YouTube edits. There you go. However, I will be making videos. It'll just be less often because I have to do everything off my phone, so there you go. Cue transition to the first scene of the video. So look at this item behind me, right? Now, we have to wonder, how did this item, bloody and all, end up in this woman's hands? I'll show you who the woman is in question. Her, right? How did she get that bloody item? So let's go back to the bloody item to start surmising some ideas, shall we? There's really only two possible scenarios. Either one, it was a hard-earned fight and she just ripped it out of the person's soul and called it a day. Or, given the content that I cover, it's the other option. She used her massive 2-foot-long schlong and went at it with her clone original for about 30 minutes in their time. And then once everything was done, the climax was there, the whole scene was sprayed with her DNA. She then, at the climax, the peak of enjoyment, reaches into Sayuki's soul, rips out the Doki Doki heartbeat, which I will further explain what this is in the first place, and then cries that she won the battle in more ways than one. Was that the option you were thinking of? Because if it wasn't, then you're probably new around here. Speaking of which, what's up guys, Evan of 47 and welcome to Watch Plus, coming your way. Now back to my other format. We're back to YouTube friendly format. Technology, beautiful. Anyway, beat Angel Escalayer is the anime reviewing today, and I must say, it is quite a banger. Look at these comment sections though.
Bad little bitch, she giving me knowledge. Shawty real fine and she got a call. I give that girl like a man.
That is very concerning, mainly because this guy here. Now, one thing I will say though is that despite Sis not recommending this video to multiple people in the comments, I will say it was a genuinely good watch. Maybe I should have watched a review on it before I made mine. Yes, that's a good point. But regardless, let's keep moving on. So, Beat Angel Escalayer is basically take the plot of soaking, which is a Mormon practice people use to evade the moral condemnation of having, the thing you're not supposed to do in a Mormon religion. Yeah, they take that, except they don't move while they're generally soaking into one another. Soaking, get it soaking. And the way to get around that is if you have someone hop on the bed next to you to simulate stimulation. So take that concept, except magical girl powers are activated via soaking. And you have the entire plot. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, you have Sayuka here, right? And she only gets power when she gets aroused to turn on, right? That's the whole plot of the show. And it's kind of funny when you got moments like this, for example. And the world is about to blow up. One of those strong clones, FN77, I think. She comes down, drops a nuke on the city itself, clears out hundreds of people. It's just a ginormous hole she just dropped on us for no reason. The maid who is helping the main couple do the soaking ritual has to distract the clone who nuked basically the entire city because they have to get it on in order for Sayuki to get her power. So this is the said clone in question here, who is a clone of Sayuki, who is the main character, who I'll also show in a minute. And here's our main character. Imagine her not fading into irrelevancy due to my green screen discrepancies. Here's a more badass picture of her. Basically, my point is this, right? Sayuki has the power to basically clear planets at this point. They don't really full out demonstrate how powerful she is, but when the clone gets her power source and uses it in her own, the clone itself is enough to clear out the general platoon that is mastering her, right? And this platoon and her master are strong enough to travel through space and time, have an entire command, and basically do whatever the hell they want in space? Which I assume has to have some hardcore stops when it comes to power leveling, right? Obviously, it has to. I'm saying all this to say our chat here, Sayuki, she is the problem. She is pretty powerful. Thank you, TikTok me. She sure is powerful indeed. So my whole point in that presentation right there, that very low budget PowerPoint presentation, is to say this, right? the plot within itself, before I even dive further into it, it's kind of cool to even like conceptualize in your brain. Now, when I further dive deeper into the plot, it starts to sort of lose itself in whatever reality it formed in front of us. But I will say this, the build up to it was pretty cool. The fight at the end, which lasts about 10 to 6 minutes, was also pretty cool and worth the build up because that clone was causing mayhem. Friendly fire and all, in all terms of the word of the punnery there, right? So we have the crux of the plot itself. Sayuki has a crush, right? Crush's name, absolutely relevant. Let's call him the NTR King because essentially, while Sayuki is fighting for her life and literally, like I mentioned in the first clip, in the first TikTok clip by the way, literally died in the middle of a fight. We have our boy over here, NTR King, just going out with another grown-ass woman, a MILF essentially, and is just enjoying himself while his beloved magical girl is literally dying on the battlefield, also getting violated. But that's an entirely different story for another different context. We just gloss over that in the next episode, like that never happened, and they're like true lovers from there on out. That's crazy. Like, come on. You're not even gonna give the NTR fiends a rewarding, satisfactory arc where the magical girl Sayuki sees or hears that the main character NTR King, which is the other dude by the way, cheated on her while she was fighting and dying. Like, I want to see her destroy and become a villain or something like that. That'd be such a crazy arc. But they're not gonna go that route because that's a bit, you know, you can't get any money off that. The whole point is supposed to be like kind of wholesome, quasi coercive, whatever, you know, conducive to superpower, right? That's a whole thing. But if you make it a spin-off of her becoming a villain, then it loses its charm with the main audience. I get that, but I would have enjoyed it personally, right? Like, come on. So once we got that out of the way, the whole plot is basically trying to get Sayuki turned on enough so she's powerful enough to defeat any foes her way, whether it be some Freddy Fazbear looking like monsters or actual villains strong enough to, well, unclothe her and make her even stronger, because that's another plot hole this show covered.
チャージ完了。
そう、俺じゃうまくいかなかったのに。
戦況の分析は後ほどのプレイに生かすべきですが、今指示をお願いします。
分かったよ。サイダー、聞こえるか？起きろ。
きょうちゃん。
エネルギーは十分だ。フルパワーでフィニッシュ。
きょうちゃん。サブリミットエスカレーション。
They can't have any of those weird tentacle scenes and then the damsel in distress effect happens. No, because once you have those scenes, she instantly becomes stronger because her whole power is based off arousal. It's hilarious. It's comedy. Just gold. Brilliant. Beat Angel Escalayer, definitely worth watching. Definitely one for the ages. And I would definitely say, I might actually rewatch this one, honestly. I haven't rewatched a show I've reviewed in like, since I began this channel, honestly. Mainly because when I watch it and review it and do edits on it, I end up watching the show like 3, 4, 5, 6 times over because of the amount of time I think about the plot. But this show is generally fun, it's kind of light, and it isn't heavy on the, you know, the violation. It sprinkles it there every now and again, mainly because it's heavily tied to the plot.
きちんと懇願なさい。私にあなたがそれを黒光りした立派なものよ。私に黒光りした立派なものを。
But besides that, it's kind of you can tolerate it. You can push it to the side. You can fast forward the scenes you don't like, and it is pretty cool. I would legitimately recommend this as an anime show to watch for most people. I will say this though, for sure. Beat Angel Escalayer as a magical girl concept is a bit weird because if you know any magical girl shows in general, it has all those changing scenes where like they just go from their regular clothes to basically nude to now they're wearing their suit clothes. And it has me thinking, all the magical girl shows, are they basically doing that except PG version, which I don't even want to, you know what, I'm not even touch that one for 10-foot pole. If I go any further in that direction, I'm going to lose my mind. Regardless, the fight scenes are pretty cool. The build up to it, while it was very tiny, was pretty cool as well because they were implying that the villains outside of space were like, damn, this girl is powerful. We need to stop her.
いや、収穫はあった。ドクター・アルク、あれは借りられぬか。
あれか、まだ調整中なのじゃが。
感情プログラム程度なら未調整でもよい。
わかった。すぐ用意しよう。
Stop her. She's so strong they made a clone of her to try to stop her and then try to get the clone's power on top of that. It's so beautiful. I love the show, and you will love it too. All right, guys, an outro, but if I did, it wouldn't matter because don't make fun of the video. Good night. Now, I don't know how I'm gonna fill an outro with this, so let's pretend like the last 20 seconds are going to be of some prolific, wonderful scene, right? Let's do this. Beat Angel Escalayer. Yeah, it's better than Demon Slayer. Yeah, I don't play no favorites. That's it. That's all I got. See ya.